And here we are with Jack West and Tom Lancaster, the fucking dream team. How we doing, boys?
How are we doing?
Yeah, good.
Oh, you wait to answer at the same time. That's so cute. It was almost in unison. So, life without the gyms, lockdown life. So, regards to like your training and stuff, Tom, like the first lockdown, you were doing quite a lot of outdoor pad sort of thing. Like, is this something you've always been like quite good with? Because again, when we were training prior to lockdown, you're doing a lot of studying. Like, how are you finding with that at the minute now?
So I'm back. I was back at uni. I started in October, so I'm limited to my days now. But I'm still doing something every day, such as running or, doing the cards at home. But I'm trying to get something in every day. But yeah, I'm at uni Wednesdays and Friday now, so 9 till 5. But which is not bad. But yeah, still getting something in every day.
I mean, this is where it gets quite interesting, the whole split between coaching and your own training, but you also got your own like education and development. I mean, things are limited anyway, it's all getting a bit sort of close. Like, Jack, what about you? What's your training like at the minute? Are you managing to get like used to running and stuff? Are you just taking time off? What's your training like at the minute?
Yeah, so I'm keeping up with the running sort of thing, making sure I'm doing that sort of 3-4 times a week, and doing the cards with Tom sort of thing. But yeah, it's just trying to keep busy, keep your mind occupied, and hopefully everything gets back to normal soon. But yeah, no, training's just been, running, lifting. I've got a kettlebell and everything like that sort of thing. So I try and do a little bit there, here and there. But yeah.
Tom, don't pick your nose on the podcast.
Sorry, mate. Is there any?
Wonderful. Sorry, Jack. Yes, to say, it's good to hear that you've still got your options. You still managed to get what you need to at home. Now, prior to lockdown anyway, like you guys are doing a bit of training together. Like, how do you find that kind of thing? Do you take each other seriously when you're coaching? Is it a bit of fun? Do you take the gas off a little bit? How do you like treat each other's like pad sessions as such?
For me, it's...
Tom. You go, Tom, mate. You go, Tom.
For me, it's a bit of both, but we both know when it comes down to it, we'll stop the pissing about and then we'll get down to business. But yeah, we've got that blend and we kind of know when to step it up. But yeah, you've got to have a bit of a laugh. But when it comes to business, we're there.
Does the sexual tension get in the way, like the same way our sessions do, Tom?
What's that?
Does the sexual tension get in the way like it does with our sessions?
100%, mate.
I think it's a recurring issue, really. It should be in the business cards, I think. Just make people know what the story is.
Yeah. In the TNT.
This is a quick warning. You might be overly attracted with your pad session. Increased heart rate is, part of the thing here and there. But
it's a blessing.
That's what you get.
Yeah, it's a blessing, mate. It's a blessing. The whole package.
Wait. I mean, that's aftercare. That's a different thing in itself. That's in the OnlyFans.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So regards to like fight day and stuff, sorry, go on, Jack. You were saying?
I was gonna touch on training together and like that. I mean, like we are really good mates inside and outside the gym and everything like that. Everyone knows that, and we do have a laugh when we're at training. But like you did touch on there as well. But when it does come down to no, cut it out, get down, get training. We can put in the rounds, and we can sort of act professionally when the time calls for it, sort of thing. We can knuckle down and focus up. So yeah.
Now on that same sort of point there, then when it comes to your fight days, are you guys in each other's corners? Is it a case of we're like training partners, and then when it comes to the fight day itself, you let them do your own thing? Is it you quite involved with that side of things, like competition? Where do you guys sort of sit with that?
So yeah, I'll go first this time, Tom.
Go on, Jack.
Sit down, mate. Sit down. Right?
Sorry, mate.
No,
sorry.
I mean, coming at it from my angle, sort of thing. I haven't fought that much over the last few years, but when I have fought, Tom's always been in the corner. It's always been Tom, John, and Tom's old man, sort of thing. So, and likewise with me, if I'm not in his corner, you can bet I'm at the show, definitely giving him a watch, sort of thing. And I'll be the loudest dude, shouting, giving him support and everything like that. But yeah, no, I'll always be there, and it's always vice versa, sort of thing. So it's all good.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story when Jack was in my corner. I think it was in Sheffield again. I'm always fighting in Sheffield.
Yeah.
And we managed to get 5 people in my corner somehow. Anyway, Jack was in there, and it was first round. I was dominating it really, but Jack went to put the stole in, fucking got it because he was nervous. I think he got it stuck in the rope.
I've got one hand, boys. I've got one hand. Yeah.
John nearly went off his head with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was stuck in between the two ropes, middle and the bottom, and I couldn't get it in. And then John was like, "Oh, fuck off!" And I was like, "All right, that's me done then. That's me done. I'll take to the stands, boys. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that again." But yeah.
And I'm just looking at him like, "Fuck's sake."
The funny thing is, that's one of those things that's so like, you know, you wouldn't even think it's a thing, but like, I tell you what, I had my first like white collar boxing match, and the thought of going through the ropes was the most nervous thing in front of everyone, let alone the fight itself.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Don't want to stack it. Like, do you guys practice that when it comes to your first fight? It's like, you know, just make sure, okay, get in the ropes, make sure you don't stack it, make sure you're cool, that sort of thing.
I mean, I've stacked it before. I think my fight with Boris Stopchev in Ringmasters in 2017. I had Jesus Walks coming on. The walkout was nice. I timed it properly. I was like, yeah, I'm feeling it. Yeah, I'm feeling it. And like, I get to the ropes, yeah, and you know they step over, right? I'm left leg gone over first. Sound. My right foot's clipped it, yeah, and I've buckled, and I've just had it landed. I'm all right, you know. I had to style it out. It's not something. It's the spur of the moment thing. You ain't going to be able to recover from that. Everyone's going to laugh at you.
No, this is it though. So like, you walk in there sort of mean mugging a little bit, you got your sort of game face on, you're ready to go. Then that sort of thing happens. Are you like, okay, this is like the wind knocked out of me a little bit. Okay, I've got my adrenaline dump already. I feel like I've lost. Or is it like, okay, now I can relax? What is your sort of mode from there?
I think it helps me personally because, you know, everyone laughs. It gets less serious sort of thing, and it gives me time to like relax. Sort of thing. It didn't faze me that much, sort of thing. I did laugh about it. I was like, idiot. Trust it to happen to me as well, literally. But yeah.
That smile, Tom. I'm waiting for something. Go on.
No, I remember I had a junior tournament. I think, you know, them long ass days where you're like, and I was last on because I was the oldest and one of the heaviest categories. No, I weren't fat there. I'm not talking about when I'm fat. But yeah, I had like 3 fights in a day, and on my last fight, it was like 4 2-minute rounds, one after the other. So I've got into the over the ropes again, where you give it the old, you know, the 3 things, and I've gone over and I've pulled like cramp in my calf, and I've tried not to show it, and I've gone John, and he just says just shake it out. But yeah, that's the worst time. But I've never stacked it. Touch wood.
Yeah, there we go. You got a long career ahead of you, mate. You got to be prepared.
Well, yeah, I've got to fight first. But...
yeah, it's one of them ones. Like, this is the thing. So when it comes to like Muay Thai fights, and obviously you have the introduction sort of walk, you got all the sort of ceremonial sort of stuff. Is that something you sort of freestyle a little bit? Is it a gym specific thing? Like, is there a class for that? Is it like part of the pads? You sort of, okay, you got to bless the ring you're in. Like, what's that?
I think it's down to the gym and what John's been taught, and he'll tell us what to do, because I still don't know the is it the what's the dance called? I should know.
Yeah, you should
Ramoy.
know.
I think it's Ramoy. Or something like that. Ramoy. But yeah, I should know. To be fair.
Yeah. Don't quote me. Don't quote me.
Oh,
but yeah,
gringos don't know the foreign culture.
Yeah, fucking amateurs over
here. I'm K1.
That's fucking Western. Don't know tradition.
Yeah, Raymond Decker style. Just get on with it. But no, I'd like to learn it. I think I've got the moves. Got the.
It'd look very interesting for me to do it. I think it would put off seeing me do it, doing that. Oh mate, I'd love to learn it though. I would myself.
Yeah, be careful where this conversation goes, I think, but here we are.
It does look good when it's done. But...
Yeah.
I mean, it becomes a bit of a funny one. Now, regard to like being in the corner of each other at this point, obviously still experience there is another conversation, but here we are. More on the sense of like advice for one another. Are you guys just going to sort of tell each other quite harsh, saying, oh, you're doing shit, and if you're not, sort of being a bit more aggressive? Is it hyping them up regardless of what's going on? Is it very technique specific? Because again, I was saying with you, Tom, like your last fight, I went to see her in Sheffield, or Sheffield, shout out. That kind of pace, there's so much going on. Like, how could you even? Okay, when he throws that switch left kick, not the 7th time, no, the 12th time he did that. Make sure you do this sort of follow up. Like, how intricate are your actual corner advice? Like, there's not much time to really like, I don't know, go into all of it.
Yeah. To be fair, that fight, I wasn't giving instructions. I was just getting a bollocking for the whole thing. It's just one of them fights you're like 100 miles per hour from the get-go. It's just, yeah. Like, I was just getting a bollocking. There was no instructions. The more instructions where is like the build-up fights where it starts slow and then it gradually gets faster at the later rounds. That's when you get more instructions. It's not technique-wise because you already know your technique. It's just the basic. He's doing this a lot, so you've got to look out for that and then counteract on it.
I mean,
I'll never do the speaking if I'm in Jack's corner. You leave it to the main coach, which is John. So you leave it to one voice, and then my dad provides the water and the rubbing, and I'm just there for support.
And foreseeable future, boys, and still, yeah.
This is it, still, boy.
Yeah. I mean, like, but for me personally, if I'm in the corner and I'm the fighter, all I want to hear from my corner is, how'd it go? How do I look? And keep it up or whatever. Just little changes, subtle changes. Don't give essays or anything like that, but short and sweet. Tell me if I'm shit and maybe I need to wake up, But yeah, sort of like that.
What's JP like in the corner when it comes to your fights, Tom? Is he give you a bollocking outright? Is it just like that sort of thing, quite composed, little nuggets of, okay, watch for that, do this, do that? Or is it like, you're doing shit, sort it out, almost slap you around a little bit? What's JB's relationship like you in the corner?
Yeah, because he knows me very well. He knows what to say. Like, if he knows I'm doing shit, he'll just tell me straight out. Like when two fights ago, like I dropped the lad twice, and I've come back to the corner and I asked, "Oh, look, I've just gone, how's my nose?" Because he clipped my nose, and he was like, "What the fuck?" Like, get on with it, kind of thing. But yeah, it's that relationship again, how to communicate with the fight. It's not like you see in some change rooms before the fight, people coaching like techniques with the pads, and you think, what? That should be done in the gym. It shouldn't be done now because everything's done. You just need short, like Jack said, short, sharp, key points, like 2 or 3 points that you or your opponent's doing. It's not like, oh, left, right, left hook, body kick. Do you know what I mean? It's just little. You do see it all the time though, and you think, what are you doing?
And then that's when they end up getting knocked out because they're thinking too much. They're looking for that one opening, and then boom. Well, I did what you told me to.
Yeah.
But this is kind of the whole paralysis by overanalysis, that sort of overthinking it and going overkill on the sort of like technical details of that. Like when it comes to, I was saying this, but I was having this conversation with you the other day, Tom, about your thought process in the ring itself, how it's all sort of pretty much autonomous. You sort of do it just second nature. But regardless of your training and your sparring, how thought out are your combinations? Is it the same kind of thing where like it's okay, I've taken a hit and I'm going to react in a certain way? Is it like pre-planned combination you try and land? Like what's your usual, I don't know, thought process when it comes to sparring?
So it depends who I'm sparring. So yeah, it depends who I'm sparring. Say like, for example, I'm sparring Jack. I kind of know what he looks for. And if I've sparred him more than say, I don't know, 3 times, I know what you're going to do. I know I can see setups and stuff, and then I can counteract that. But when me and Jack spar now, it's like, you've got to get something different with him because he knows what I'm going to do. It like bounces back and forth. But in a fight, it's very like you're in autopilot because you're so focused. You just do what you just do what you've got to do. Whereas in sparring, you can have a bit of a play around because there's less nerves.
Yeah.
You've got more time to think. But whereas in a fight, it's like shit. Oh fuck! I don't want to get hit, so I don't want to hit him. But I've got to do it to win. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, fuck, just do what you're good at.
This is a weird grey area with sparring, is to say if you're practicing for a fight, which essentially what sparring is to an extent, is then how hard you go.
Yeah.
And also, if you're going to go crazy hard, you're going to get it back. You have a gym war, or you go too light, and it's not really applicable. Because again, if I'm just sort of like half like pulling my jabs against Jack, he's not going to respect that. He's going to walk straight through that. So where do you guys draw the sort of lines with sparring as to how hard to really go? Is it sort of go for how they go? Is it just sort of push the pace and expect them to match it? What's your usual intensity like?
I normally wait for people to match, sort of thing. Like I go off of what I let them set the pace, per se, sort of thing. Like with me, it's a little different as well. Obviously, being primarily one-handed sort of thing. I'm not trying to be big-headed here, right? Sometimes I don't realise my power and my strength. So I end up getting hit, and then someone's hitting me like 2-3 times, and I'm like, "What are you going at?" And then but that's why I tend to try and let people set the pace when it comes to sparring with myself. Well, at least I'd like to think I do anyway. Some people might disagree, but
Sorry, Jack. Whenever you start talking, you see Tom start to smirk a little bit, and it makes me smirk. As to say, it's interesting that in itself. Again, that sort of almost not overcompensation. The fact you've got.
He's a bully.
Yeah, he's a bully.
He's a bully.
Again, it's that sort of thing you don't realise what you're doing. It's hard to really gauge how hard you're really hitting, and it's interesting the way you think you're hitting to a certain intensity. But again, the way it connects, again, the weight distribution in itself, like you may not be going that hard, so to speak, but if you've got the weight in the right place and they're going onto it, they're going to know about it. Like Tom, from holding pads to me and how powerful I am. I'm some sort of like, the next fucking Sancho. Here we go. But,
No, but I find in sparring, I'll get hit the most when say I'll spar a beginner.
Yeah.
I think after the round, like, fuck me, he's just hit me about 100 times. Whereas if I go with like the high level, like Jack, Jeff, or Jordan, I'll step my game up. But whereas
high level,
or Dan Lester,
there we are, man himself.
Shout out. But like if I go with beginners, I get lit up. So it depends who you're sparring against as well, because the beginners want to take your head off and prove a point all of a sudden because they've still got that ego. Whereas if you put it on them, they'll think, "Oh, well, you've been doing it for so many years," and you think, "Well, you're trying to take my head off." So yeah, you've got to find that balance. Like, but you do get some pricks in gyms, but it is what it is, isn't it?
I'm not going to say you have to get on the podcast, but it's another conversation. When it comes to obviously that beginner kind of anxiety, ego, whatever you want to call it, in jiu-jitsu, it's quite easy to sort of deal with because, again, the whole idea is controlling them and, making them stress out. And it's just like, okay, calm down, it's all right. But with striking, how do you manage that situation? Say you get someone a bit bigger than you who's got a bit of a chip in their shoulder and they're trying to take your head off. What is your response to that? Are you trying to piece them up, trying to I don't know, wind them? Is it just trying to say, okay, calm out? What's your usual response to that?
I mean, I don't think you can train for that because if someone's going to try and take your head off, there's unless you go, "Oh mate, that's too hard," which none of us are ever going to do. No one's ever going to be like, "Calm it down," unless you're out and then it's too late and it's like, "Well, that was too hard." So, but there's no telling it. I think you just got to put up with it and hope that they calm themselves down or they're knocking themselves out, and then you can be like, "Oh, ping ping," and get them back.
What about you, Tom? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I was going to say, I see Tom like rolling his eyes, thinking.
No, fucking mate, I'm agreeing with you. Boys.
Leave you two to it.
No, what if they're bigger and they try and take your head off? It's usually, obviously, you're not going to match them for size. You've got to use your technique, and then when you get that shot, put it in, kind of thing. But there's other guys in the gym, and they'll kind of know that they're going hard on the smaller boys, so they'll put it on them. Do you know what I mean? Say the beginner big lad's trying to put it hard on a small good lad. There's always someone bigger who's better who's going to put it hard on them because they know to take that ego away from them and bring back down to
apologise.
School you basically.
I mean, the big lads, the big guys, the new big guys are always fast to, hit you hard and then apologise straight after. It's like, no, that's not. You knew what you were doing.
You want to dance?
Exactly.
It's all right.
Yeah,
you're taking the stance. I'm good. I'm gonna fucking let's cha-cha, baby. It's all good. Now, with that being said, it's an interesting way it kind of filters itself out, and again, you kind of work out as you go along, and people sort each other out. Now, regards to your development within the classes, again, you've done the same sort of sessions for X amount of years now. How do you stay,
Yeah.
I don't know, present with it? Because again, it can get quite monotonous. Again, you're doing the same sort of pads you do in this, that, and the other. It's, you know, a lot of impact, a lot of stress. Because what I found interesting about our sessions, Tom, is the way your technique is like, it's not like a certain amount of reps, it's not this, that, and the other. It's okay, good quality reps whilst you're not fatigued. Rest, recover, and do it again. And then it's separate sections. Have you always been quite keen on that kind of way of doing things? You see what I mean?
Yeah. I believe once you nail down the technique, then you can up the power, because people always want to try and like put the power in first. But if you don't know the technique and you try and power everything, you're not only going to hurt yourself, but you're going to hurt your partner and look wank at the same time. So once you do the technique, then you get the power, then the bigger results come. So I always believe technique over, you know, ego and trying to take your head off. Because you want to be known as a good fighter, not just a brawler. Do you know what I mean? You're not street fighting. You're in a sport to be the best you can be. So I'm going deep and on.
I like it. I like the insightful side of it, because this is where it gets quite interesting, the way you break these different sections up a bit. So are you very much, you have to have a purpose behind what you're doing? So say if John says something, do you have to get an explanation to understand why you're doing it? Or is it, okay, I just do what I get told and then work out later?
No, absolutely. I don't question him, because he obviously knows what he's doing.
Not like to sort of put him down what he's doing, but try to understand it, you see what I mean? Not sort of diminish it the same.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, but because I've been doing it that long, I can't understand why he wants me to go there in that direct or throw that combo. But yeah, and it ticks in the head, like, yeah, that's cool. But I always use stuff that will work for me. For example, like what Jeff does is never going to work for me, and probably what I do is not going to work for Jeff. So you've got to take bits from everyone that works for yourself and then apply it to your arsenal. So
in regards to you, Jack, and your development, obviously having to work around like cerebral palsy and everything else, how have you found developing, and also, I don't know, making more out of your training? Are you quite cognitive? Are you very much thinking, okay, this section I'm going to really gas out, this section I'm really going to concentrate on technique? Or is it, okay, I've just sort of keep the same kind of intensity and trying to work out as I go along? Like, what's your general, I don't know, attitude towards a training session?
I mean, as of late, with lockdown and everything, I've been watching loads of videos and everything. So I've been learning loads and loads from just watching. And I'm not really like that normally. And I've always been I need to do it in sparring to make myself feel like it's good, or I'm doing it right, sort of thing. Because when I hit pads, sometimes I'm off balance, and I know the only way to fix that is to keep repeating it. But sometimes, it gets a bit much. But over lockdown, I feel as though I'm learning heaps from just watching. And it must be, the change, the adaptation to having to do it, sort of thing. Yeah.
Now, in regards to watching tape, do you guys do it when you have opponents? Do you tend to watch a lot of their footage? Is it something the coaches do? Is it something you really give a lot of value to?
For me, I'll watch it, and then my dad will watch it, and then we'll give feedback on like what his weakness is, what he's good at. So we'll get like a mixed feedback, and then we'll only watch like 2 or 3 times, like 3 of his fights, because you always know what they're repeating. Do you know what I mean? Like what they're good at, what they're bad at. And then from there, you'll not devise a game plan, because I don't really like game plans, because you're rigid. You should focus on yourself, but you kind of know what you've got to look for and what to do in them situations.
So regards to your game plan, so to speak, again, I know you mean by sort of not being too fixed around certain things. Is it more a sense of, okay, trying to avoid certain habits? Is it okay of trying to go into your strengths from certain positions? What's the usual cues you have for a fight, a game plan, so to speak?
So what say if they're under pressure, what do they go to? And then when they're on the attack, what they usually look for, say, I don't know, a left body kick. They're always throwing that left body kick. So in my head, I know he's going to throw that left body kick. So what am I going to do to counteract that? And then when he's on the back foot, he squares his feet. So if he squares his feet, you can go under his feet, sweep him, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like if he's a bit lackadaisy with his hands, then you can apply the pressure. But you only take little small points because everyone goes, oh, I've improved, I'm the better fight. Like,
yeah, everyone's done.
I'm a lot better than I was a year ago. So you never know what they've developed on. So you shouldn't really make a game plan. Like, you look at a common example, Conor McGregor against Khabib. He was so worried about that takedown, and he gets dropped by an overhand right because he's so fixated on that takedown, and that's all he's been working on. Whereas if he was working on himself, he would have never got landed with that right hand.
What about you, Jack, regards to watching tape and that kind of side of things?
I've never been. Again, I'm sort of where Tom is with it on it, sort of thing. I don't, you watch too many things, and then you overwork your mind, you overwork your head, and it's I've got to watch out for this and this and this and this. Whereas, like you said, if you just break it down to 3 things: what does he do when he comes forward? What does he do when he goes back? Does he shell up? All these sort of things. Well, them 3 things that it'll go a long way, sort of thing. So I am with Tom on it. I don't tend to watch too much. 1 or 2, and you're good, I think. Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned about what we do under pressure, because again, when we had Greg Jackson at a seminar a little while ago, one of his things regards as like strategy was to watch some of the earliest fights available, to see their habits when push comes to shove, when they get gassed, when they do whatever, where their sort of habits are. Yeah. Yes, it's MMA specific, but it's interesting the way you mentioned about pressure, because again, if, I don't know, old habits, you turn away and you pour away, or some sort of beginner habits, it'd be interesting to see how regressive you can get with that kind of thing. Like, are there certain cues you guys have from, I don't know, if someone wants to watch tape on you, what sort of thing would they expect from that side of things, like old habits that might like reappear? Go on, Tom, other than eating them.
Yeah, blocking it with my forehead, I think. I don't know. What do I do? My bad habits, Jack. What would you say?
I mean, if
how long you got?
If you get
fuck off.
No, you're all right when you are in control. Yeah, when you're dictating the pace and everything like that. But if someone lands something big on you, you want to make them pay, and you instantly show that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'd
say my poker face.
Don't get bad. But I think you get overzealous with it. I think you want to get him back. You can be patient because speaking, you'll outfight most people. My boy.
Yeah, I'd say my poker face. Do you know, like, if I get hit, I'll show I'm coming for you, which is a bad thing. Like, I'm wearing my hat on my sleeve, but then another thing, I'll punch and pose sometimes. Like, I'll land that score and I'll just like make sure I've scored that point where I should just carry on and keep going. So it's one of them. Yeah.
Like jumping the ropes.
Yeah, I've got you there. Yeah.
What about you, Jack?
Yeah, I'd say they're 2 things. Jack?
Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, sorry. I was waiting for you. I was, with the delay and everything. No, yeah.
That's all right, mate.
No, yeah. I think if you watch my previous fights that were on YouTube and everything like that, it's clear to see that there's definitely something going on my right side. I just completely forget about it, and I don't even throw with any much technique in some fights. I sort of just try and throw my left and try and get it over and that. But I think when I'm calm and I'm fit, being a key thing, and I try and incorporate my right hand and right leg, because at the end of the day they're still there. It's still going to work. It's just I need to find an angle or find the position to get them in to make it work, sort of thing. So, I think I get a little bit. What's the word? I just keep using my left hand. Too much. I keep forgetting that I've got. Spamming it exactly. Spamming my left hand, and then it just makes me look messy. And then,
So it's one of those things. But it's interesting, the guys, how well you could take your own sort of critique with it and not take it personally. Because again, as much as it is a very objective thing to really sort of develop on, it can be quite personal. Because again, how much you're invested in the sport itself, how much you're invested in your own technique and your development, to then be told you're doing something wrong or not to the best ability, it can sting quite a bit. So it's good to see how well you guys can take critique, especially from each other. Now, regards of working on changing styles, again, what is your general preference in training? Is it build on what you've already got? Is it expand the general horizon? So, for example, say if your stance is mainly staying like standard, like orthodox, throwing certain hand combination, anyone low kicks, are you want to then start switching up stances entirely, trying spinning stuff, trying to mix things up entirely? Or is it more just build on what you've already established?
Do you want to take this one, Tom?
Oh, I'll go.
Start with you.
So now I've recently just been trying to, like, you know, broaden my technique and my assets. Like recently I've been watching a lot of push kicks and teeps, so how to improve that, because I hardly throw that in a fight, which is pretty shit because it's one of the main skills to have. But yeah, so I've just been watching loads of teeps, a lot of push kicks and stuff like that. But yeah, you still focus on what you're good at. So me, I love a leg kick, but don't get me wrong, I love to do all the spinning shit and all the fucking Karate Kid stuff. But in Thai boxing, you're just gonna get your leg taken away. Well, you've got to be shit up.
Yeah, you've got to be called Sancho, man.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. Now with me, like, again, lockdown has just been an eye-opener sort of thing. I've been watching loads of videos, and I've got like a mirror sort of thing, and I start doing a bit of shadow boxing in a day. I always find myself just doing random stuff when I'm standing up, going to the toilet and stuff. But I mean, like when it comes down to it, like, yeah, exactly, yeah. No, but I'm trying to say I primarily fight, you know, orthodox sort of thing on my left hand forward sort of thing. So I want to try and switch it up because my power's on my left side. So if I could just throw a nice left body kick, it's going to put most people out. I believe so anyway. So again, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've got to big myself up. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
No, you have got a good kick to you, mate.
Thank you very much. No, but yeah, I love watching videos at the moment, and I think with the current situation, it's the best way that I've found that I'm improving, sort of thing. So
awesome. Really appreciate your time, guys. Be sure to check out our sponsors, the English Hypnotist, Rico Clothing, and the IT people for your website needs. English Hypnotist, mental health support, again, your development in your sport. Rico Clothing for your clothing needs, and the IT people for your website needs. Guys, social media, where can people find you? Tom?
Oh, fuck, I always forget this.
Tom Lancaster 7, is it on Instagram?
That's the one. Dan knows. He's been stalking.
I must have got it ready. Jack, you done?
I've updated my name, guys. Yeah, it's not offensive anymore, right? So I'm happy to say it. It's Festus_OC.